Hey, I clicked the button and it looks like it worked. Hi, welcome back to Uncanny Adventures, Skull and Shackles D&D 5th edition campaign. We were away 2 weeks ago, just random stuff for everybody, but we're back. And we're going to go around and say hi to everybody, and we're going to jump back into the shenanigans that are going on and see what's happening. So, I'm going to start with Brad to say hello, and we'll work our way around.
Hi, I'm Brad. I'm playing Myriad Watersong, the wild magic sorcerer, water genasi.
Excellent. And how about Walter?
Hello, people. I'm known as Genly as well. I'm playing a bard, uh, and you see if he is a typical charlatan bard or not. And he's not very bright as you might see in the next few minutes.
And PaladinHulk.
Hi everybody, I'm PaladinHulk, and I'm playing Holt, the Pirate Paladin, which is the best combination in the world. You can usually find me in various Discords and in Margaret Crone's charity D&D game as well. I am excited because I got Martins to like the authorities cough. So let's see if that works out. I'm assuming it won't, but there's a chance. There's a chance. All right, let's go.
How about Kat?
Hi, I'm Kat, and I play Antoinette Jejong, the Triton Storm Sorcerer, because we need 2 Storm Sorcerers in a pirate boat, right? And recently come to the surface, and everything's new, and everything's nice, and she's now got a thirst for power, having killed some... Actually, I don't think she killed them, but it was more the fact that she discovered electricity and power. So I'm curious to see where that goes.
Excellent. And Dylan.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I play Bartholomew Ignatius Seacaster, who, despite his name, is a Sahuagin bard. Who, once we hit level 3, hey, he's a swashbuckler. So, and nobody's gonna take his hat this session, and unless it's not gonna happen.
I mean,
It's not gonna happen.
is it really his hat? We'll find out. But
It is, yes.
And hi, I'm Jeanette. I am your dungeon master, and I'm not going to be responsible for any hats stolen during the course of this adventure, I guess. But anyway, so last time the group was given their assignment for the day, and they were ordered to go down into the bilges after Jack Scrimshaw had come up the day before and complained that something was chewing on him, and he was a little too terrified to go handle that himself. I mean, he's a young man, and he's more an artist than a fighter, so he left that to more capable parties, which Master Scourge decided was our lovely group of friends here. And he sent them to the bilges, where they did in fact encounter some very large bilge rats that they dealt with very handily. When they came back up above and stopped to have a discussion, Martin slipped away to investigate some as yet undiscovered parts of the ship. And he... That's awesome. What is that, Brad?
Have one for you.
Oh, I'll take it. He discovered what appeared to be the ship's armory. It was full of various weapons. And as the rest of the group came up above searching for him and came above deck to report that they had accomplished their task, he hid inside said armory while they went to report to Master Scourge, who quickly sent them off because they did not have a complete group with them. And he expected them to return with all of their members to report. They found Martins inside the armory, where he reported that some ne'er-do-wells had shoved him in there unexpectedly and left him trapped, and it was not his fault whatsoever. He may have also acquired a cutlass at some point during this little endeavor. But who knows, because he hid it well. So, Holt has taken Martins and is leading him back to the main deck to find Master Scourge and report in, while Miri had slipped below decks to catch some extra sleep because Why not? They weren't expected back for a little bit. And Bart and Antoinette, while they went to search for Miri, came across a young woman. She called out to them from across the middeck, inquiring about Bart's hat, which looked extremely familiar to her. In fact, she's pretty sure she lost one recently. And when we left off, Miri had questioned this young woman, who had introduced herself as Tawny, as to whether or not she was the individual responsible for taking items from the members of the crew who had been conscripted against their will. So, we find Antoinette, Bart, Miri, and Tawny in the middeck, looking around at each other. Tawny has this sort of half grin on her face, looking over at where Miri is, and says, "Oh, I don't take things that don't belong to me, my friend. I just, like to make sure that I keep my items close. We are surrounded by pirates."
Aye, you're one of the biggest.
Well, I'm one of the more important. I am the captain's mate.
Right. What does a captain's mate do?
I make sure that the captain is well taken care of.
And what kind of things do you do for the captain?
I clean up his quarters. I serve him his food. I make sure nobody gets in or out of his quarters that's not supposed to be there. And for my good service, I am well treated on board this ship and well respected.
I see. How long have you been on ship for?
I've been on ship for quite a while. I think this is, maybe a year or so that I've been on board.
Wow, you must have seen much piracy. That sounds so cool.
Oh, I've seen my fair share.
Mm-hmm.
You must have done your fair share too.
Oh, I do what's asked of me. Nothing more, nothing less. But I definitely would be interested in getting my hat back, my friend.
Shame it's not yours.
What proof do you have it is your hat?
Well, I said so, and I like it, and most people would want to be in my good graces.
Oh,
But it's
really?
not
What does it do when we're in your good graces? What can you do for us?
Well, I'm the captain's favorite.
Mm.
I mean, I know that Mr. Plug and Master Scourge like to think that they're top tier, as well as some of these other officers, but really, who's more important to the captain than the person that sees to his everyday needs, like myself?
I see your point. So what is it that you're doing right now?
Well, I was bringing back some things to the kitchen and checking in with good old Fish Guts. He seems a little more with it this morning than other mornings, but I was on my way back upstairs to do some of my other daily chores, and I noticed you lot coming down the stairs and wondered what you were up to.
Oh,
What
we're an
about
official
business?
We're an official business.
What's your official business? Are you wrangling pigs or goats?
Not today. Murdering rats, more like. I hope no other rats get murdered today.
She just kind of smiles and looks at Bart and says, "I've seen you around."
I mean, I'm rather hard to miss. It's
It's that fetching hat of yours, isn't it?
Mm.
You must have seen him in the kitchen because he's been working with Fish Guts.
Yes. I have noticed. I will have to say thank you. The quality of the food since you've been working with him the last day or so. I think the biscuits are a little bit better.
Good to hear.
Big praise.
I'm not the not professionally trained like good old Fish Guts, I suppose, but I know my fair share around the kitchen.
So, here's my question. If you don't want to give me the hat back, that's fine. But what will you give me for my hat?
Look at my inventory real quick.
Anybody else around us?
Currently, there are a handful of pigs and a couple of goats running about, but otherwise, it is just the 4 of you down here.
I just realized that we did not collect all the dead rats.
No, they're just sort of floating in the bilges.
No, they're just gonna rot down there.
How far away from her are we?
So you all are on one side of the mid deck. So let's see. You guys are Miri, you're slightly closer. You're about maybe 25 feet away from her. While Antoinette and Bart are about 30 feet or so, and they're on the opposite side. So, like, you're on the port side of the ship, and they're on the starboard side of the ship in the hold. So you're about maybe 10 feet away from Bart and Antoinette.
I'm going to cast sleep
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
All right.
on her.
All right. So, sleep.
Ooh.
How does sleep work, Miri?
That was a good point.
I roll 5d8,
Mm.
and as long as her hit points, well, all the creatures within the area,
Hmm.
the lowest number of hit points falls asleep first, and then whatever's left goes to the next creature, and so on until all the hit points that I roll are gone.
Excellent.
But I'm centering it so that she is the only one that I can see within that area.
Okay.
This could be okay. Maybe.
20 hit points. All right. Let's see. Where are you, Tawny? All right. So you cast sleep, and let's see. She does not fall asleep. You see her like, and she's like, "Oh, wait a minute. That's not very friendly." And she draws a dagger out from her belt.
She would
Oh,
not
boy.
necessarily have seen me do this. And
No.
if it doesn't have any effect, she wouldn't really notice.
Is there any somatic component?
There is.
So,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm afraid it is verbal, somatic,
Okay.
and material component.
But I'm 25 feet away, so
I will have you just roll me a sleight of hand to like
Okay.
do it on the down low. That's pretty good. All right, so she does not nod off. She looks around a little, like startled, like and she says, "Well, what are you gonna give me for my hat?"
I'm gonna pull out a potion that I don't know what it is, but on my inventory sheet I called it brown potion. So I'll say, well, if you like my cooking, and I hear there are brown potions that sort of wake you up, so if you're tired, this might help.
She strolls across and holds her hand out and stops about 10 feet away from you.
I'll walk the rest of the way and I'll hand it to her.
She takes it and she shakes it. What does it do?
I'm not entirely sure.
Is
something good.
Is it
I'm
poison?
kind of
No.
no, not that I know of. I'm kind of an experimental alchemist in a way, you know.
You made this?
Mm-hmm. Have some extra time after prepping dinner and all that, you know.
Her eyes kind of
Putting
go.
some ingredients together.
Her eyes go a little wide, and she's like, "You made this in Fish Guts Kitchen?
I know, right?
Is it safe?"
As far as
Yes.
I'm aware.
That's safe.
Yeah.
I have tested his potions before, and they are perfectly fine.
Do you want to roll me a deception check?
I would be more than happy to roll a deception check.
Wow.
She looks over at Miri.
Oh.
Well, you're not dead. That's a good sign.
Indeed. I don't plan on being that way anytime soon.
All right. I'll take this. If it turns out to be nothing but crap, I'm going to come back and have a talk with you.
Okay.
But I'm going to go talk to Peppery and see what she thinks.
Okay. Yeah, she probably knows. She seems like a smart cookie.
I don't know if I'd call her smart cookie.
Well, I've only met her once, so I suppose I'm not a good judge of character as far as that goes.
She's like strolls past Bart and walks kind of by Antoinette, nods at Miri, kind of gives a side glance like, and then goes around to the stairs to keep going up and says, if you find any other of my belongings, you should let me know right away.
Will do.
I don't think I'll be finding many of your belongings anytime soon.
All right, then. And she, you hear her clopping up the stairs. And you hear a thump, thump, thump. And what do you want? And the three of you are left alone with the pigs and the goats.
Oh, thank God. Thought I was going to have to stab a bitch.
That was a bit close. That was a bit close. Where'd you find the hat?
I do believe Sandara gave it to me, didn't she, Jeanette? Okay. Sandara gave it to me. So
It's a
I'm
pretty
not
hat.
one. I'm not one to question Besmar's blessings, you know.
I still think she's a thief.
I think she is too. But that's neither here nor there for the moment. I'm just glad I had something to give her, besides my blade. You know, that would have been rather unfortunate.
I think after the rats, we're kind of everything would have been a bit difficult to fight yet again.
Yeah.
The only
Maybe
way
a
you
little
would have
bit.
given her blade is between her ribs anyway.
It's true. Regardless, we should go see Master Scourge, I suppose.
Is that why you were coming and looking for me?
Basically.
I heard you guys, so I figured I'd head up.
Appreciated. Very much appreciated on my part.
I was looking forward to a nap.
I'm sure we'll get quite a good nap afterwards, I'm sure.
Bilge is gonna make us work more, you know that.
Well, yes. I suppose he... Yeah, probably.
What time of day is it at the moment?
It's still like morning. It's very shortly after like the first bell. You did not take very long to slaughter the bilge rats
Hey,
and then
listen.
come back up.
So basically what we thought, oh yeah, because we went up quite quickly. So basically, even though it feels like we've done a whole day's stuff, we've basically only just like done a few hours.
Not barely that, yeah. You're barely.
We did like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So we've done 30 minutes of work and that's been it. Okay.
You did about 10 minutes of work and probably a little more than an hour of now like random drama.
Shenanigans.
Yes.
Shenanigans is the word I think we're using.
Yes.
Okay.
You know. That
shenanigans.
sounds about right for a D&D session, honestly.
Especially ours.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So what do the three of you do as you're standing here in the mid deck, looking around at each other, as two of the pigs run past, and one of the goats runs up and just stops in front of Miri and looks up at Miri. Meh.
Hi, goat.
Meh.
Do you think it's trying to talk to you?
Maybe.
I don't know if Antoinette would have ever seen a goat before.
Meh.
She's just going to sit down on the floor and look at it weirdly. Like, what is this?
It looks across, like it turns from where it's looking at Miri and it looks at Antoinette sitting on the floor. And as you're sitting there, one of the pigs like runs across your lap as the other one is chasing after it.
What are they doing? I don't understand.
Just having fun, you know, as I do.
This is a strange world up here. We don't have these under the surface.
The second goat just comes walking from behind the stairs and walks past behind Antoinette and just walks down the hold to the other side.
I go and follow it. Why not?
So shall
my
we
God.
go report to Master Scourge before we get our other compatriots into trouble?
Oh, I suppose. I can come back for these goats later.
That's true. You can follow them all day afterwards.
Goats. They will still be here later.
Alright, show the
Well,
way.
Unless we
Unless
make
they
them for
can eat.
dinner.
Right, do you guys
Yeah.
know the way to Master Scourge?
Yeah, I suppose he's up on the main deck, right?
That's where you saw him last, and that was where Holt was dragging Martins to go to.
Right, let's go.
All right, so the three of you decide to ascend the stairs to go back up above. Meanwhile, Holt and Martins, you had
boy.
watched as Bart and Antoinette went down the stairs, and you, Holt, took Martins and walked back out on the main deck, where there's just a flurry of regular day activities, like the sunlight kind of hits you as you come out, the noise of the ocean gets louder. You can always hear it inside the boat, but you can hear the waves crashing. It's a warm day. It's a nice sunny day. The weather's pretty good. There's some clouds in the sky, and you can see various members of the crew are busily working. You see Conchabar in his big purple hat just crawling through the rigging. It looks like he's working on tying off and fixing some of the rigging. You see not Bismar. You see hang on. Sandara saying
It'd be
Bismara.
pretty impressive if Desmara
I know,
was
right?
here.
No, brain fart. But you see Sandara, she's currently swabbing the decks on the other side, just below the rear deck of the ship. And Rosie Cuswell is kind of helping, like, they're both down and they've got their brushes and they're kind of scrubbing the decks, having a low conversation. And you can see in the distance, in the stern, up on the deck back there, the captain is sort of leaned into conversation with Mr. Plug again. Just the two of them together. You see that dwarf with the broken nose. He's once again at the helm steering the ship. He's got that cage up behind him that's got the skeleton in it, and the really creepy looking parrot is still kind of chilling out up on there, like talking at the skeleton that isn't responding. But otherwise, just people being busy about the deck, and you can see Master Scourge is sort of looking up into the rigging. He's about midship, just below the mast, kind of looking up, sort of observing the crew and what they're doing.
I think I explained last time, like I did the whole thing where I told Master Scourge what was up, like what Martins had told me. So I just said, did you get all that, Mr. Scourge? Did you understand everything I said about him being thrown in the room by mysterious strangers, and they didn't even lock the room?
I actually thought that we were still on the way to Mrs.
Yeah, you were.
Weren't we?
Yeah, you.
No, whatever. You want me to do it again?
Sure.
I'll do it again.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I also don't remember.
It's fine. We can do it again. Mr. Scourge,
What?
look, I found Martins. He was like he told me I found him in that room over there with the stuff in it. And I described where exactly the room is. Like, I found him in there, and he said that some people threw him in there. Like, hit him over the head, threw him in there, and then they didn't lock the door or nothing. Like, that's so strange, right? People attack a fellow shipmate and then toss him in a room. Like, I don't think people are supposed to be in that room. Isn't that right, Mrs. Scourge?
No one's supposed to be in the armory.
Mrs.
Right.
Scourge, I also want to tell my story for you. You know, there has been some strange fightings among the crew, and then I tell him that the guys that then I tell him that I do have some flashes of images of the guys who threw me into that room, and I described the same guys that had beaten up the Holt and Mary, I think, at in the other episode, and I tell them some of them faces at all, because I do remember that they came and blinked or made a sign or made a signal to Mr. Scourge. So and then I saw Holt and Miri, all all beaten and so. So I saw them, and there has been really strange fightings among the crew here.
Do I see that gang on deck?
So looking around, you know that the dwarf with the broken nose, you definitely know he's up at the ship's wheel, so you see him. You can see the fat, like bushy, like the big pot-bellied one with the shaved head. He's busy like running rope like around, just kind of off to near the door where you all came upstairs. The one with the woman with the big ears, the one that was kind of like crazy eyed and just like was totally seemed like she was into like the violence of it. She is also kind of collecting and moving barrels off on the other side of the deck, kind of securing them to make sure they don't come undone if you hit rough waters. And then you see the big burly half orc. He's up toward the front on the upper deck of the ship, and he is also swabbing the deck, but up there.
You mean them? That's over there.
Possibly. I mean, if I have like several, if I see a list of people inside in front of me, I could definitely would possibly tell that would be someone like that, like one of them at least, like two of them at least. But I couldn't actually tell who. I don't recall, and it was also dark, you know.
So
That sounds awful. I make a point to like take a few steps, and I end up standing next to Mr. Scourge, and then both of us looking at Marcus.
Scourge says, "So, can you point out who you're claiming threw you in there, or do I have to pull them off their work and have them line up so you can look at their faces?"
I cannot exactly tell you 100% who did it, so I would prefer not to incriminate someone based on, you know, like a chance 50-50. So because I'm not that kind of guy to actually tell someone who has done something, and maybe he has not. So since I would not be able to tell you 100% who did it, I would prefer not to point someone exactly, but what I do know is that some people who look like two of them threw me in that room.
Mr. Scourge, why do you think someone might have done that?
Well, did you do anything to upset them? Did you not negotiate a wager properly or pay them their fee? Why would they want to do anything to you? You're only new to the crew. I mean, so new that why would you make enemies yet?
Me? That's me?
Yes, you.
Oh, I haven't done anything wrong. I just noticed there has been fights among the crew before, and among new people as well. With the Horde, exactly.
Yeah, that was scary when they jumped us.
So I just I don't know what's going on. It's something that should lead to an investigation, I think.
Mr. Scourge, what is there anything we can do to ingratiate ourselves with the crew more? Like, you know, to make friends? Do you have any advice?
He just
Let them be up.
he looks back and forth, kind of between. He goes, maybe don't do things to upset the others on the crew. Know your place amongst your fellow shipmates.
I've been trying to show that I'm like a capable worker, but just, doing the job, not like arguing and whatnot.
I had not been in any fights before. I have been a messenger all day with no delays, and I'm new here and haven't caused any trouble. I can play very well as some of your crew can tell you or could tell you. So I don't know. Maybe one of my songs has upset someone. I don't know, but I hardly doubt that.
Martins, do me a favor and roll a deception check for your story to Master Scourge.
Not very good. Not very good.
All right. He seems miffed in terms of like just having to stand here and have this conversation, but he doesn't seem like he disbelieves what you're saying to him. He just seems confused by what happened, but he just sort of looks around and he says, "Anyway, well, maybe you just need to make sure that you watch your back a little bit better so that people don't go throwing you into places you shouldn't be. Sounds like someone's not happy with you, and so they wanted you to get in trouble."
Is that door supposed to be open?
Absolutely not.
Like, it's open now, because I don't have the key.
Well,
Maybe someone should go lock it. I'm just saying.
No, I could go lock it if you want to.
do you have
Do
the
you
key?
have the key? Where
No,
did
I
you
don't.
get the key?
No, obviously I don't have the key. But then,
How are you going to lock the door then, genius? Come on.
I am asking him if he has the key with him. I would make the favor to go myself and lock it myself. That's all.
Obviously, someone important like Mr. Scourge has the key. Like, who else is going to have the key?
Jeanette, do we get here by now?
You'll be coming up like in a couple of moments, but not just yet. Scourge looks over and says, "No, I don't carry the key. We leave that to the Master Gunner. Haven't you met her yet?
Master Gunner.
Master
What-
Gunner Crine.
What is his or her name, or their name?
Her name is Crine.
Crime?
Crine.
Like crime? That's a fun name.
Like crime with an N. Crine.
I don't believe. I mean, I must have met her at some point because I was a messenger that day. But I mean, there's so many people in the crew, so I don't remember. Sorry.
What does a master gunner do, Mr. Scourge? I'm not familiar.
The Master Gunner is responsible for all the weapons on the ship. Make sure that the crew is trained for when we have to deal with taking other ships, and handles any explosives and or cannons that need to be fired off with the help of her assistant.
That sounds like an important job.
It is an important job. Points to the rear stern, the deck where the captain and Mr. Plug are talking, and there is a woman who's pretty tall, human woman, dark skin. She's got a red bandana tied around her head, curly dark hair coming out, has like a bandolier across her chest, wears like a white button-up shirt, trousers, and she is sort of standing at the back, looking back over the ocean in that direction, away from the main deck and the crew. And he says, "I'll take care of getting the armory locked back up. I see you're still missing some of your crewmates.
They should be up any minute now.
Did you go back and feed them to the rats?"
No, that's horrible. Why would I do that?
"I don't know."
It's something that actually I mentioned before because we had one member of the crew who almost died there. and we could have waited for her, but instead we were here. So
He perks up
she
a
got
little.
pretty banged up, but I don't think she almost died. That's a bit severe.
He perks up a little on the they almost died. And
I'm
then
sorry, but
and then he's just like the clouded expression comes back over his face when you say that. Well, it wasn't close to death.
Vicious beasts, though, those rats.
They crawl in with deliveries and then make themselves at home. And as
I
he's,
just realised we left the bodies of those rats floating in the bilge.
what'd you do that for? That sounds
I
like
don't
an
know.
incomplete
Kill
task
them.
to me.
You want me to go get them, or you want me to wait for the rest?
As you say, wait for the rest. The door opens, and Bart, Antoinette, and Miri are
there
emerging
they are.
from below decks.
Hey guys.
hey, Antoinette, are you okay? I was so worried about you, but then I had to be almost dragged to come here, drag.
Oh, I feel fine. I feel fine. I
Oh, good.
found some extra health along the way, I guess.
Well, that's good.
That's,
I feel good. All good. Ready to do some more stuff, I guess.
Yo ho ho.
Well, it sounds to me like there's still rat carcasses to be retrieved and disposed of out of the bilges.
Oh.
Yeah. What do you want us to do with them? Like toss them overboard, or like give them to the cook? I don't know. Like how desperate we are for food.
He just looks at you. He's like, I mean, if you want your evening meal to be boiled rat.
I'd rather not, but like it's better than nothing.
I don't know.
haven't we
Speak for yourself.
haven't we been to the village a bit too much? I mean, maybe you could some other crew member to do the stuff, and you could give us other assignments, or more important assignments, maybe.
I don't mind.
Wait,
I'm happy to go get the rats.
wait. You didn't finish the job, but you want me to have someone else do the job.
I'll just go get the rats. I'll just walk off.
I'll go with Holt to get some rats. Why not?
Thanks, Bart.
I'll just go with him as well.
I'll go with as well. It feels too awkward to be on the deck.
I'll wander behind
I'm
them.
just gonna follow Holt from now on. So.
You know, I never did find out what he wanted us to do with the rats.
Oh well. We'll just throw them overboard or something. I don't know.
Does anyone have a better idea for what to do with like a bunch of dead rats?
I even didn't know that was one of the tasks. Actually, I just thought that we would leave them dead and say that we have dealt with the situation. That was made.
Clearly, we don't want a bunch of dead rats on the ship. Like that's gonna get like diseases and all that.
It's a bilge. It's a bilge. Who cares?
We'll save it for the captain's meal.
Anyway, we'll follow your plan and we'll get those dead.
Yeah. Like, I'll
Rats
go get them.
and-
Like you can just rest. You know, I know a bunch of you got hurt during that whole fight. I'm fine, so I'll do the job.
Oh, will you? Would you? Oh, that's awesome of you. Oh, you were a real hero. You were like, I mean, I don't know
It's
exactly
just a
yet.
bunch of dead rats. Let's
I don't know
not
exactly yet,
carry
but
away.
I think you'll be one of the more heroic pirates I've ever seen. Well, seen not, but heard.
I'm a fucking cut purse. I'm no one's idea of a hero.
Well, that's my point of view. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to if you have offense of that.
Like, I'm not a murderer or nothing, but anyway, I'll just get the rats, and I pull open the hatch thing when we get there, and climb down and.
I will cast light on the ladder again so that he can actually see what he's doing.
All right, so you all make your way back down into the lower hold of the ship.
I forgot how dark it was down here. Is it, like, any chance I could get a magical light thing?
All done. The ladder lights up.
The whole
Nice.
ladder is lit up. It puts out light about 20 feet out in all directions in the hold, which lights up most of it in a nice dim light. And you see floating in the brackish water the these bodies of these rats in various death poses from how they died.
You know, that one's like cut in the middle and all the bits have flown out. That's going to take a bit to clean.
So
I do my best. Maybe I figure out I need a tool or something.
Okay, and
Out
do
all
you
the disgusting junk?
and do you want us to go with you and watch, or you
No, I'll go
want
down
us
the
to
ladder.
go
I'll
do
down the ladder as well.
to go
I'm just
to go,
sitting at the top of the stairs.
or we should go do some rest, as you said before.
You do as you like. I'll
Okay.
take care
I'll
of
go
this.
down as well and help you.
I so can't, Antoinette. Like, I know this
Okay.
job is disgusting.
I did
Yeah.
bite one, so I feel responsible for cleaning that up. Sorry.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge mess. Like, killing them, easy. Cleaning up after ourselves, that's like half a day's work.
Indeed. So why don't you, those of you that are cleaning up rat carcasses in the bilge, just roll me, I would say, dexterity checks to
Wonderful.
successfully collect the pieces. If you rig up something like some kind of maybe netting and or like if you figure out a way to maybe like rake the area to get the pieces, you could have advantage on it.
Almost like a rat gut pooper scooper or something.
Mm.
I feel like seeing that floating in water, I can do it fairly easily. So I just go ahead and wade through the water and
Titan stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you know, just
I
try.
see a shape water cast, so
No, I'll just do it normally by hand.
I just move some water around and
Yeah.
sit there at the top of the ladder, watching them and trying to move the water such that they can clean it up easier.
And Martins, are you taking a nap in your
I
hammock?
But
I am. I mean, we do have a stair that leads to the build, right?
It's a ladder that goes down
A
from the middle of the hold, and the hold where it goes down from is actually where you all sleep at night. So you could just take your hammock out and hang your hammock up where you normally sleep and just lay down.
I say, so guys, I'm gonna stay here and stay as a scout in case we have a bit more trouble. If you all don't mind. So I don't go down this ladder and stay above. Just watching, just looking, not doing anything.
Excellent. So Martins relaxes and rests, and can, if he wants, take the benefit of a short rest because he's not doing anything for an hour. The rest of you are down in the bilges except for Miri, who is supervising, I will say, from the top of the ladder, while helpfully just moving this water around for
and the
you.
light spell, like that's all
And-
actually very useful.
It is very useful. It's actually pretty hilarious because it does take you probably like 3 times as long to tidy up the mess as it took you to just kill the rats in the first place.
God.
Just from the amount of time that they kind of floated here while you were up and down and talking to people and the motion of the ship. So you have to do a thorough clean to kind of get all the bits and bobs out of here.
If I may say something,
Yes.
Jeanette. So I actually had a thought. Because I didn't think through actually.
Mhm.
Maybe hiding a cutlass, which is like a curved sword, on my body would
Mhm.
not be very wise. So is hypothetically,
Mhm.
is there a chance that when I was walking or falling or fighting or something, that could hurt me from
Well, the-
from within, you know?
The cutlass was in its sheath, so you hit it like kind of like in your pant leg. So and no one searched you, and you were careful because you hit it well enough so that it wasn't very noticeable that you had it. So at this point, no one aside from those that saw you with it would know that you even had it. But after the point of getting out of, dealing with Master Scourge, like during your short rest, you can take the time if you want to hide that somewhere else. Like that's perfectly fine if you want to try to hide that elsewhere.
I might do that, but I have another question actually. As we are part of the crew now, we have access to a sort of bunks, a sort of boxes.
You have access to footlockers. Yes, you can claim a footlocker for yourself, and there are various locks. You can lock it and take a key for it, and that's your footlocker.
Well, I don't think no one actually saw me with that, so I'm just gonna leave that as it is. I know that at some point might become more and more evident that is there.
Okay.
But I'm gonna wait until night, until later, and then I'm gonna put that in my footlocker.
Gotcha.
Is that a cutlass, Martins, or are you just happy to see us?
Yeah, I actually thought about that joke like so many times, but I don't know if it's just PG-13 or something like that. So yeah.
I put the adult warning on here just in case, just to cover us. You never know.
Doesn't hurt.
But those of you that are thoroughly picking up all of the pieces and parts of rats, you do also discover a handful of other items, especially with the help of Muri's moving the water around. Because there are some old, like, dilapidated crates and stuff that were kind of left down here, and there's, like, wet straw inside them, and they apparently used to hold things. And in fact, what you come across, in one of the crates that's actually somewhat above water, when Muri moves the water aside, the lower crate shifts, the top crate kind of falls, and the lid slides off, and inside that crate is actually a full suit of leather armor.
Oh my god, armor. I'm taking that. I don't care what anyone says.
Finding good things
Armor.
out there, it seems.
Underneath the armor, when Holt pulls it out, there are 3 heavy maces kind of lodged in the bottom of this chest as well.
And actual weapons too. That's amazing.
And there's a small pouch at the very bottom. Just tiny little, looks like a coin pouch. Not too large.
Toss all that stuff up here. I'll take it at the top of the stairs.
Bart, you open the little coin pouch to find 12 silver pieces inside.
Alright, I'll take it.
And then in the water itself, like stuff that was just sort of left floating around, you all eventually collect 21 gold pieces from your collecting of the pieces of the rats. You also find a buckler down here, and you find a small bag, the outside of which you would think would be like completely saturated with water, but it seems to have like a layer of like some kind of resin or something that protects it from getting completely wet. But it feels like there's like, when you kind of touch it, it's like there's some kind of squishy substance inside the bag. You think
I want to open the bag.
all right, you just kind of like open the top of the bag a little bit and look inside, and there's like, it looks like kind of a tarry paste inside the bag.
This is so cool. I stick one of my fingers in.
You stick your finger in. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god.
Alright, hang on. I am having some slight... Right, there we are.
Actually, that's acting like Mary right now.
I'll also take the buckler.
Alright, dexterity, roll well. Oh, yeah, I'll take it. I'll see what happens.
All right, so you stick your finger into the bag, and you stick it in, and your finger is stuck in this goop.
Uh-oh.
And like you try to pull it out, and the goop kind of like comes with it, and then
Looks like we're going to have to amputate.
What are you doing down there, Antoinette?
Look at this. This is so cool. I sort of try and get my finger out.
Why don't you take that up to Miri and maybe they can help?
So does it try and suck me in further?
It doesn't so much suck you in further as your finger is like very well stuck in this goop, and you can't. And the more like if you try to pull it out, like the goop starts to kind of come up out of the bag.
I'm imagining it to be like one of those things where you can stick your finger on, and the more you pull on it, the more stuck it gets. So
Just take the whole bag.
I'm awkwardly try to, like, with a bag under my arm, try to climb up the ladder and show it to Miri. It's like, Miri, what do I do?
Take your finger out.
I'm trying. I can't. Have you seen this before?
What should I roll?
You can roll me, and I'm gonna say this would be either Arcana or you can roll an investigation check.
Well, I'll go with Arcana.
You look at it, and you're not sure exactly what this is.
I have no idea what this is, Antoinette. What did you find?
Well, I don't know. I just saw it was there, and I just thought I'd stick my finger in and see what happens, and I can't get it out now.
Do you commonly just stick your fingers into things?
I mean, how else do you discover what things are, you know? I mean, I know some people, like, tend to lick things to figure it out, but I figure, like, it'd be safe to just put my finger in.
How about looking at it first?
Well, I did, and it was a black thing, and I thought, you know...
Okay, I don't know what to do. I can try and freeze it if you'd like.
Has anyone else seen anything like this before? And I sort of showed around to the others. I can't get my finger out.
Not as far as I'm aware.
Am I hearing this, or is it, or am I too far away from?
Oh no, you hear this. You're on the same level as where Miri's sitting in the hatch. Like you're just in your hammock nearby.
Hey folks, what's going on? What's taking so long? And I might know what it is because I know I read a lot and have seen a few things before in my life, but I actually don't think that I can see that far to actually make some road to know what it is and how to make it out.
No,
well, come over here and have a look.
Antoinette,
Okay.
you notice it seems like it's starting to spread up your hand.
Okay,
Guys.
I'm gonna go down there then and take a look.
All right, so you
He's
climb.
up. He's climbed up.
Yeah, she's climbed up. So she's
Oh.
up at the top in the hatch, and she's got one hand. Antoinette, left or right hand?
Right hand.
All right, so she's got this bag, and her right hand is in the bag, and her finger was in it. And you see this like black sticky substance that is all the way up to like the knuckle of her finger, and she's like stuck in the bag.
That's not good, Antoinette. What in the world is that?
We shall call it venom.
So, Martins if you wanna, you can either roll an Arcana or a investigation check to see if you can figure out what this is.
I'm gonna roll an Arcana, and they're both +1 anyway. So,
Okay.
and I'm gonna use my lucky for this, so I can re-roll.
Okay, so roll, and if you want to re-roll it, yeah, you can spend your lucky to re-roll it. So you're looking at it, you're like, I don't know if I've ever seen this before. Do you want to try with your lucky to?
Yeah.
All right, spend that.
Just so to yeah, I'm gonna roll again.
All right. You think you've heard of a substance like this? You think you're supposed to throw this thing, and usually explodes on contact, and the gunk inside is supposed to expand and harden and hold someone in place.
Okay, this is okay. Internet, don't panic, people. Don't panic. This is just a normal.
That's a good thing to say.
However,
Ned immediately panicked.
however, insofar as your well-being, let's say that way, it is we have to take it out like right now because it might spread. It's not gonna look good, but don't panic.
So we gotta cut our finger off.
Knife.
Martins, you think if you can pull hard enough, you can detach her from this, but it just depends on if you have enough strength to pull her free.
Okay, so I have an idea actually. I'm not sure it's gonna work. I mean, it does have to be me to pull, or I can choose one of us who I think has more strength, or however.
It is entirely up to you.
Okay, I'm gonna try myself because I think I might know exactly the angle of the pulling, and I'm gonna try. So hold still, and.
What was that, Holt? You called my name?
No, hold. I'm sorry.
That's my name. What's up?
Yeah, I mean hold or hold. I'm not sure. I'm sorry about my accent. I'm not from your regions.
Stand by a minute, Holt. Stand by.
I'm sorry about my accent. I'm not from your regions. Hold with the D.
Oh right.
Something like that.
I'm sorry. That
I'm
makes
sorry.
sense.
So hold still, Antoinette, and I'm gonna try to pull it. So what should I roll for it?
All right, so you grab onto the bag. What's that,
Can
Miri?
I hold her?
Sure, you can, and that can give advantage on Martin's roll for pulling the bag loose. So,
Oh boy.
Antoinette, your finger is in the bag. You notice now it's starting to cover the knuckle. Miri holds on to you, and Martins takes hold of the little bag. Martins, you're gonna roll me a strength saving throw.
Oh no. Or a saving throw? A saving throw or
Yes, strength saving throw.
Oh god.
You have advantage. Come on now.
You do have advantage.
I have an advantage. And okay. And if I see the numbers, I'm gonna I mean if I use my lucky again with an advantage, I choose a roll from the advantage to roll again, right?
You would roll another die, and you take whatever the better roll is. So yeah, you still
Okay.
have 2 points of lucky left.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I thought you said you were gonna pull, Martins. I thought you said you were gonna pull.
Okay. I heard some stories. And I'm trying to do something heroic here from some tale that I heard before, and let me try this again.
Should we get Holt up here?
Oh my god.
So if I'm not mistaken, if I do lucky, I have to use that second dice, right?
Let me double
Or I
check.
can choose.
I will say this.
Boy.
I will say this. None of those help you. None of those rolls help you get.
Okay. Just
In fact, make me a dexterity saving throw.
oh, that was actually my main. Okay, that's not gonna be good about it. That's okay.
All right,
Okay, well.
you manage to let go of the bag before you also get stuck to the group inside the bag. But meanwhile, Antoinette kind of like falls back into Miri as you let go to avoid the goop sticking to you. And Antoinette, your hand is now stuck, like it's up, like, and more of your finger, like your other finger got stuck to it.
All right.
Hey, Holt. We need a strong man up here. Pull this thing up.
Or a sword, like
You lot
Or we
don't
could
have
cut our
daggers.
I'm
I
standing
climbed the
by.
ladder. Yeah, we also found a bunch of maces. Gunk, gunk, gunk.
Well,
Yeah,
we could,
but
then we could
that's-
smash our hand and then cut it off.
That's
I mean,
true.
I don't think they're useful right now, but like just so they're up here, not in the bilge.
Okay.
I
what's
might have
going
a
on?
sword. I
I'll
might
take
have
the
a sword
chests
that-
and all the stuff up and set it up on the deck so that they can climb up.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Antoinette got her hand now, I guess, stuck in this stuff, and
Can somebody help me get my
we need
hand
to
back
pull it
out?
off.
Did you try
Either
like
that or you get-
cutting it off?
Well,
I've got a
I'm
dagger.
here. I mean,
I mean, the main idea, I've seen or heard this
It's
before.
threatened.
No, definitely not seen, but heard this before. And the way to do it is to pull like real hard. And I thought that I
didn't work
I
so well.
knew,
Man.
I thought that I knew exactly the point to do it. But we need
I'm
a
just gonna try
strong,
cutting it.
we need a strong hero like as yourself. I mean, not hero if you don't want that title anymore. But yeah. So if you can try.
I pulled it back a little bit, and then I just try to cut it with a knife.
No! No knife!
Reasonably far away from your fingers. That's gonna be fine.
No!
Yeah.
No knife.
I don't think that would be wise. But
I just do it. I
All
don't
right.
like-
So Holt grabs the bag and starts to pull to get it out further from Antoinette's fingers, and
Yeah.
some of this goop starts to drip out onto the deck between the two. But go ahead, Holt, and make me an attack roll with your blade.
Wait, I thought he was just gonna pull it. No knife.
Attack roll's gonna be the same.
All right. So you slash down into it. Roll me some damage for your axe. All right. So
Should be a little less, but it works.
so you slash down into this muck, like this weird goop, and the axe kind of goes through it, and it doesn't go all the way through. Antoinette, you feel a little bit of give, even though your hand has still got this goop covering into it. Holt, give me a strength roll to try to pull your axe back out.
Just regular strength?
Yes.
Not a save?
No, for the axe it's just strength.
Alright.
All right, Holt pulls the axe free.
Well, this is tough stuff.
And now there's like there's a little puddle pooling on the ground now too. Antoinette, you're still stuck, but now there's like a long tendril of it that's got you stuck to it. And
Let me
like
give that another go. And I try it again.
do it.
Oh. I recoil in horror.
There
Alright.
we go.
Oh, it cut like everything.
All right, so you cut through the rest between Antoinette's fingers and the bag. And the bag, are you holding on to the bag still, or do you just
Yeah.
drop it? All right, so you've got the bag, which is now, it's just, the goop is kind of starting to pour out of the opening of the bag and onto the floor, which is starting to make a puddle that's spreading. And Antoinette, your hand is free. You've just got this solid gook now on the ends of your hand. And it's, do you touch it with the other hand?
Oh boy.
Wouldn't I?
Make a strength save.
A strength or a dex?
A strength for this one.
Alright. I am super strong with my 9 strength, guys.
Oh boy. God.
You see, Antoinette.
Wow.
Antoinette,
Wow.
grab it to pull it free, and you just see now, like, she grabs, and then she does that thing where, like,
Uh-oh.
and her hands are stuck together, like this.
I see the goop forming on the deck,
Mm-hmm.
and I just go grab some, clothes or whatever, rags, whatever is lying around. And
There are
old,
hammocks piled up in the corner.
and I'll grab a hammock and I will make a circle around the goop on the floor so it doesn't.
That's somebody's hammock. They're gonna be so
Oh, wow.
pissed at you.
Folks, I may have an idea that doesn't involve any more hacking or hackless
No
stuff.
fire. No
No,
fire.
no fire. No fire. Maybe we could see someone in the ship that knows this stuff and can help out. And you guys do remember. that sort of like a scientist person that I'm not sure her name. That she looks a little mad, but she might be able to have a potion or something like that that could help.
Can't tell anybody else.
I mean,
about
you're
this.
already
That's a
making
tonic.
people mad enough to throw you in a place you shouldn't be. Like, I don't think we should risk people getting more upset with us.
Yeah.
So we're cutting
That-
off
that
our
was
hands.
like a
Except
habit.
about
I'm
what?
just-
Her hands are tied. What would they be upset about?
With my hands stuck together, so I'm just sort of standing here looking between you guys.
I'm sure that like, our water wizards can figure something out.
I'm one of the water wizards.
No, okay, I'm sure you've got a plan, right?
I look at
Sure.
my hand.
We can freeze some things.
No freezing, no fire, no. It's my hands.
You don't need those.
Okay, so Antoinette,
I do.
That's true. We're pirates. Who needs hands?
I have another idea. What if this is a sort of the same kind of living being, and we kill and we try to smash this loose in the ground, and maybe we do let go of her?
I don't think this
Or-
thing is live.
Okay, so my first advice to Antoinette, and she should be one to decide, in my opinion, is to go to someone else, because we seem to getting things worse here. So I would go to that person because I think she would know what to do. But that's only my opinion.
We can't go to anybody else
Why not?
because it's just gonna get us into trouble. We're already in
Isn't
enough
that
trouble
wrong?
because of you.
Jeanette, is there some water around? Like, I know we're on a ship.
Yeah, what if
Yeah,
we just
there's
stick it
water
in
in
the
the
water?
village down below. There's water down in the village.
Alright, hang on. How high up are we?
It's about a 15-foot drop down to the bilge.
Alright,
Got a nat 20.
Oh. Okay, shape water is only 5 feet.
Does it require somatic components?
Hang on. Yes.
I'm going to attempt to freeze it with my shape water.
Okay.
Fine. I stand in front of him.
Oh, I wasn't asking for you if you wanted to do it or not. I was just doing it.
Done.
Bart's just standing by the side with his knife out, like, I got it.
Alright, fine. Try and freeze it.
And I cast shape water to freeze whatever this is.
All right. So there is some kind of water component to it, as you do feel it get very cold, and you all see it like get kind of a little bit icy. Do you want to make me a strength saving throw, Antoinette?
You have a nat 20.
You also have an advantage because of the ice.
You have a nat 20.
Yay!
Okay, that's pretty good.
So this time she pulls her hands, and there's a cracking sound as the icy goop now cracks and is a little more brittle, and you're able to pull your hands apart. And now when you touch it, it's not sticky because it's been cooled and frozen, so you can kind of pick the pieces off. But your hands are free. There is a 5-foot puddle of this goop on the floor where the bag just leaked it onto the floor. There's still about half a bag of goop left
Okay, well,
that Holt is holding now.
we can save
I
that for
think
later.
I'll put it down because this is.
In the middle of the hammock that I made a circle of.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be. It would be if this thing were not too much of a danger to us, we could study it, but we don't have time for it as well. But I suggest we just leave it as it is and just go report
It's the bag.
I report nothing.
It's
No.
the back.
I mean, not report this thing, but report. I mean, not even mention this thing. Just report that we.
Jeanette, is the bag still possible to be closed again, based on that they were stabbed and stuff?
It could be closed. It's got a little of the goop around the rim where it poured out, but you could like pull the drawstring shut.
Sure, I'd like to do that, and I pick up the bag and I say, "This stuff is so cool." And I take it.
Antoinette reacquires her little bag of goop.
It's cool stuff. Can't just leave it lying here. Who might,
Are there any spare bags lying around that I could scoop up the stuff that's on the ground?
Make a perception, or actually make an investigation check to see if you can find a spare bag. Alright, so amongst the footlockers on the other side, you do find a few bags of various sizes sort of stacked in alongside them. How are you going to scoop up the goop?
Well, I need to find a tool of some kind, a knife, a blade of some kind that I can use. I do have a
I show him my fork that I have. Do you want to use my fork?
fork. I have a dagger. I'll use that.
Oh.
And I'll take a dagger and I'll open the bag and try and scoop some of the goop into.
All right, you stick your dagger into the goop. Make a strength roll to see how well you scoop with the dagger.
Strength roll or saving throw?
This is just a strength roll because you're using the blade. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
All right.
Nice.
There is some resistance, but Miri powers through and scoops a bit of the goop, a dagger's worth, into this bag. And you just like spend. Do you just basically spend enough time to scoop as much of this as you can?
Yep.
All right. So after a few minutes, you get to the point where you get half of it into the bag, but the rest on the floor has kind of hardened now, and so. But you look at the bottom of the bag, and it is a little like, this isn't waterproof so much, so it's got like a wet stain on the bottom of the bag.
I'm going to very carefully, without touching the bottom of the bag, take this bag and set it over in the corner.
Okay, there is still a spot on the floor, ringed in a hammock, where there is like a 2-foot diameter goop like stain, like solidified goop stain now that's just there.
I guess somebody that's gonna swab the decks down here later is not gonna be happy with it.
Yeah, really.
It is not our job. It was not our duty.
I don't know anything about it.
And I also want to say that with your investigation, you notice that the bilge is suddenly real clean. Like, because I've gotten purify food and water now, and as I've read it, that
Wow.
is quite a surface area. So if I cast it twice, which I can, I've basically cleaned the bilge into just drink water.
Nice.
Almost. Almost.
Man,
Cool.
if those rats had lived a little longer, they'd have had the best life.
Yeah, really.
And I feel like I did that subconsciously. Just like as I was working.
Excellent. Yeah, the rest of you notice, or Bart in particular, because you stay down there the longest, you notice that the cleanliness of the water gets better throughout. It's very odd.
Pretty good.
The smell gets better, like it doesn't stink as much now. You could maybe even leave the hatch open and air the place out now.
Really, it's just because
Maybe.
you got used to it so much.
So,
Now maybe it won't stink when we go to bed.
Maybe.
so here you all are.
So I just had a thought, actually, Martin's. I thought it just you know, I mean he was thinking, I definitely gonna tell this as a tale, you know, to other bars, but I will have to make some improvements and some adjustments to this whole tale to actually be more heroic, because it didn't go well.
No, it did not. Like, we were defeated by a Tanglefoot bag, so...
Right.
But it is interesting. It is interesting to have a footnote in a book, like Yeah, a book like a motto what they call like Skulls and Shackles. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that's all sorted. Does anyone want a mace that we've got?
Well,
I
not
don't do
exactly
those
my-
weapon things.
Not exactly my flavored weapon, but
Antoinette
Please.
looks at it and is like really intrigued by it, but is like, "What do you do with it? I think you better take it back."
Do you want me to like give it to the armory person?
No. We'll hide it in. We'll claim a truck and hide all this stuff. In case
And
we
I'll
need
take
it later.
one.
there might be some friends who could.
I'd
use
like to
mace.
trade this for a helmet because
Oh, could be useful. Yeah.
We might be able to do that. So let's store it for now.
all right, that's fine.
You all do know that during the day, Cutthroat
Yeah, she's in the quartermaster.
is in the
store, right?
quartermaster's store during the course of the day. She opens it in the morning and closes it up before dinner, but otherwise she's in there.
Could go do that before we go back to Master Surge.
I did have a helmet on when I came aboard the ship.
I
And
mean-
like, now that I have this leather armor, which is great, I actually like this better than the chainmail I had when I came on. Like this is more my speed.
However,
Where's my
right now, should we go back to Mr. Scourge to tell him that all is done, and then afterwards we can go to see what you want to do with it?
Do you really want to go do more work? We could all just kind of stay down here together and till the day goes by, and then go tell them we finished cleaning.
But
I
then
mean-
they'll be upset on account of how slow we are.
Well, I mean, given how well you cleaned it, Holt, I mean,
Yes.
Did we?
that'd be rather.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good.
I hadn't noticed.
So
No,
while
we're
these
working
guys are talking, Antoinette would like to sort of sneakily go away and go back to the goats.
And go back where?
To the
The
goats.
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 No, I had a
Definitely.
thought about what we could do with these dead rats. Because, like, we're not going to eat them. That's disgusting. But throwing them overboard also seems like sort of a waste. I can't. Don't have a lot of resources. But we could feed them to the pigs.
Does
I
anyone?
mean, the captain.
Well, I
Like
consider
that kind of talk, it gets you executed, like my friend. I don't think you should want to talk about a captain that way.
Does anyone have a passive perception of 11 or better?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a 30.
Mine's 12.
Yes.
11.
Okay, so those
11.
you see that whilst this conversation's been going on, Antoinette, I was going to say Jeanette there. Antoinette keeps sort of backing a little bit further away, and sort of like da 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 da, just backs away, and then walks out the door and goes away.
So I pretend I see nothing.
Bart didn't say anything either.
I wave goodbye.
I don't see it because I'm already out the door at this stage.
Going to see the goats.
And I go and see the goats, and I go play with the goats.
Okay, Antoinette is up one deck to play with the goats.
Yay!
You all hear her like get to the deck above, and then you hear the tick, 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 tick of the goats, and you hear meh.
As long as it
Antoinette,
doesn't get us more work, I don't care.
Antoinette. So one is for yes. So is for no. Okay. And just so you know, and that's how it works. Our language, or their language.
Sorry, what's that?
So one is for yes. If you do ask something, so you just say then it's for no. Okay, just so you know, that's basic knowledge. Everybody knows that.
Basic goat lore.
Goat lore. Yeah, so I sit down with the goats and I play with them, and then there's pigs as well, and yeah.
Every once in a while you're playing, you see the big bald figure that's chained up, like lean out as far as he can, and like watching you play with the goats. And when he notices you see him, he backs back into his little alcove.
Oh, hi, are you here to play with the goats as well?
He doesn't come back out of his alcove. He just stays sort of ducked back there.
Oh, why not? I walk over and I say, hi. Who are you?
He sort of looks up at you. And looks back down his chains. And looks back up at you. And just shrugs.
You don't talk much? I guess you've already used all your talking whilst talking to the goats all day.
He looks over at the goats as they run past. And he looks back at you like... Goat. Goat.
Goats? And Antoinette just sort of stands in front of him expectantly with a big smile. I don't know.
I think we come in then with the bag of rat bits.
Oh, hi guys. I found the goats and I found this guy. He doesn't seem to talk much.
So where do the pigs eat? Have you seen that? Do they have like a trough?
Jeanette, would I know? I mean, I'm down here.
Usually, you see fish guts just sort of throws them like scraps.
Like scraps, okay.
But like in a specific place, or
He doesn't seem to have much care as to where they get.
So.
He just, from what you've seen, Bart, in your few days you've been with him, it's a general like stumble to the door, look around, and just sort of like. Mostly, you think he avoids getting them right in front of his bedroom door. So anything outside of the area where he has to walk is usually successful for him.
Let's give the rat guts to fish guts to do it as he pleases.
well, that works too.
I was thinking we might not want to feed them to the big man, but those ne'er-do-wells who tried to bully us. Maybe mix it in with their food. Maybe.
Or maybe that is their food.
Maybe. Hey.
I don't know. That seems rather cruel. Except for that one girl who said she's going to kill me as soon as the people give her the okay. That seems, I don't like her.
I could slip into hers. I mean, I am the cook's mate.
And then
You know
at
what?
this
You
point,
take the bag, you give it to the cook, you do as you like. Just
Alright.
nothing horrible.
I
and
will.
then at this point, I had a thought. Okay, so this book might not be a book at all. It might be a short story because this guy is really boring and not heroic enough to make it to a book. So it will be just a short story. Called I don't know, Skull and Boring guys.
I don't think I've ever seen you write. So
No. I'm just actually thinking. I'm not thinking aloud. I'm just thinking by myself.
The big man says fish. Fish. Fish.
do
He
you
points
want
at
some fish?
he points at Bart and he says fish. Fish.
Well, that's just a hooligan.
Fish.
No, I think that's racist.
I am a gentleman.
Ooh, again.
Thank you. You wouldn't want to be called chicken, would you, mister?
It is fishies.
He just got called goat.
He picks up a feather out of the like dry tar on his skin and holds out a feather. Chicken.
All right. I don't think this one's all there.
That's why he's tied up, I guess.
You know, Fish Guts has a chicken that stands on his shoulder. Perhaps, Mr. Man, you could stand on my shoulder.
Does he seem hurt at all?
No, he doesn't seem hurt. He just like the only thing you can see physically about him is that he has these areas that have the like hardened tar and the feathers on him. In fact, the tar bears a very similar consistency to the goop that Antoinette was stuck to.
I pull out the bag because it's Antoinette and she doesn't know better. I pull out the bag and I go, "Oh, I see you've got some stuff on you. Do you want some more?"
He backs into the little hovel where he like sits with his chain. No chicken.
Oh,
Why would he want more?
Chicken?
I was
I
just
put the bag
thinking
away.
maybe we should clean him.
No chicken, no chicken.
Would you like us to clean you?
No chicken. He looks up at Holt. No chicken.
I think that's a yes. I'm gonna
No
see
chicken.
if I can find like some soap and water.
You can definitely locate some soap and water, as the rest of your crewmates have all at one point or another seen where they keep the equipment to swab the decks.
No, maybe I shouldn't do this. I go find Mr. Scourge.
All right.
I just want to get permission first.
More work.
So Holt is gonna head off back up above. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm gonna take the bag of like dead rats and I'm gonna like stow them somewhere in the kitchen for later.
Well, I'm definitely gonna ask first, Holt. Mr. Holt, should I or should I not go with you to see Mr.
Yes.
We all need to go see
Mr. Scourge?
If we don't all go, we'll all be punished.
It's true.
So we should all go.
Well, it's gonna be Holt's decision from now on.
No, I'm not in charge.
When did you?
Do you want to get us all in trouble, Holt?
Like, I just don't want to clean this fellow here, and then later on get told that I wasn't supposed to. Like, who should I ask?
Okay, so should we all go with you, or you can do it by yourself? Or if we don't go all by ourselves, will Mr. Scourge be a bit mad or not? Since you seem to know him a bit more than us.
Okay, I thought we were trying to avoid doing more work. How about we just sort of
I
chill out
am.
here for a bit? I mean, Miri is very, very concerned about this whole thing, and there's only been like 5 minutes since we decided that we weren't going to do more work. So, how about we just chill here?
I mean, I don't want to do more work, but
Works for me.
Hold, come and chill here. Let's talk to the goats. Look, there's goats here. There's like loads of goats.
I just feel bad for this fellow who's covered in like goop.
I want to do like some animal handling, please, to like get the goats to all come and like surround Holt.
Roll me an animal handling check.
Oh,
Antoinette goes to get the goats, and the goats run, and the pigs run.
Yep.
And the big man goes, goat, 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 as they run
all
past.
these goats are running away, and I like try and run after them, like really badly, and just sort of try and catch them. Yeah.
He doesn't seem like a bad guy. I wonder why he's like tarred and feathered. Does anyone know?
I have no idea. He was here when I woke up.
I no clue.
Yeah, you've all seen him. He's been chained here since the first day you were on the boat, and you
Yeah.
haven't seen him elsewhere at this point.
Is this the same guy? So that the big guy that they let go every time they plunder something.
He's tied to the mast.
Oh, he's tied to the mat. Okay, right.
Yeah.
This is not the same guy. Okay. How are there so many people tied up on this boat? I don't understand. How are there still rooms with people tied up? How many rooms are there?
Hey, there's a
How many
cage.
rooms are on this ship?
There's a cage with a skeleton hanging up in the upper
true.
deck, and nobody's taken the skeleton out since you've been here. So, and there's a very angry parrot that keeps yelling at the skeleton.
Well, hypothetically speaking,
So much
some
going on.
people might be very good at doing some stuff which is illegal and not be caught. Hypothetically, that could be one of the reasons.
Possibly.
He plucks another feather and goes, chicken.
I ask him, why are you here?
He holds up the chain that goes from this collar around his neck and around the mast that comes through here, and he shakes the chain and just looks at you and puts the chain back down.
Okay, yes, you have a chain, but like, why are you chained up down here? Why not, like, what did you do? We've already met this other guy, like a couple days ago who was chained up. Like, why are you guys chained up? What did you do?
Are you like a bad person?
Let him
bad.
talk, Holt. Let him talk.
He says bad, and he looks down and looks at the floor, and he scratches at like a nail in one of the boards.
Folks, I don't think he has a very healthy mind. You know what I mean? I think he's a bit, you know. I think he has been there for a while. So basically, he has lost his mind. I don't know the actual name for it, but I think he lost his mind. So I don't think he says he was going to be very useful.
I don't need him to be useful. I just, you know, if he's not an enemy, I don't want him to be like treated horribly. Like
We are not.
he's been stuck here for days now.
But it's not your doing. You don't have to feel bad about it. It's not your doing.
We can release him if you want to, Holt. But the last time we did that, we got ourselves into trouble.
Right. So
I don't want to.
I thought maybe I could get permission. Be like, oh, what's up with that guy? Like, shouldn't we like release him or at least clean him up a bit?
But that means more work.
I asked the guy if he wants some food or water. Are you hungry?
He looks at you, and he's got like he looks sadder now that he said bad, and he goes, hungry.
Okay, guys, I think he might be hungry. Is there like around here immediately? Is there like food or water or anything?
I mean, we have a chef's
We got the
assistant
rackets.
right there.
I'm on like nicer stuff.
The kitchen is, or the galley
there.
is on the other side of this deck, through the door at the other side.
I'm
But
going over there. So.
Can we go and get some food and water for this guy?
That'd be very honorable. Probably something that Holt would agree with, but it might upset some people. So I would advise not. But I'm gonna follow you guys. I'm gonna follow you guys if you do.
Fellow.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Who's gonna really notice that he's been fed and had some water? Like, if they wanted him dead, he'd be dead. So let's just make sure he's all right.
Is he going to tell somebody though? He doesn't seem like he's all there. If somebody else asks, he might tell them exactly who did it.
Or he might just
and say, "I fed a poor innocent little man." I mean, I hope he's innocent.
He looks up at you, Holt, and he's got like his eyes look watery, and he says, "Owlbear bad."
Is that you? Is your name Owlbear?
Owlbear bad.
I don't think you're bad. You're good, yes?
He shrugs his shoulders.
I hold out my hand. Hi, my name's Holt.
Are you Owlbear? Hi, Owlbear. I'm Antoinette.
He looks at your hand. You can roll me a
If he bites my finger off, I swear to God.
persuasion, or you could roll a straight charisma, but persuasion to see if you get him to shake your hand. He looks at your hand for a second, and he kind of puts out his big meaty hand, like he's got big hands, and he like kind of takes your like hand.
Wait, is this now the guy who's tied up to the mast on deck?
No, he's on the mid deck. He's on the second level
there
down.
are two guys tied to the mast.
Yes, there are. This is why it's so confusing. There's like people tied up everywhere on this boat.
Because I thought the other guy was also named Bear or something.
Well, no, this guy. There's nobody currently tied up above.
So there's one guy tied to the mast, and it's this guy.
He's tied in the second deck.
Okay,
Yeah.
and he's the one that they told us would go berserk if they let him go.
You have heard a rumor that he might go berserk.
Oh, so it is the same guy.
Okay.
All
Okay, right. I did
On the
think-
same page.
If people said that he could go berserk,
On his good side.
it would be wise that we help him. I mean, isn't that like make him bad instead of good?
But you want to come with me to the kitchen, to the galley, and we get him some food and water? 'Cause he looks really, really hungry.
Oh, screw it. I'm just gonna find some soap and water and clean this fellow up.
I'm gonna find something to be to help the guys as well, but in some other place, in some
He's
other
gonna
stuff.
run and tell on us. Just,
I haven't done anything wrong since I got here. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
So-
why do you distrust me so much?
So Holt is collecting some cleaning supplies. Antoinette and Bart are going to the kitchen to get some rations or food of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the bag of rat guts in tow.
Yeah, I'm gonna stash those in like a cupboard or something.
Okay, Miri, where are you going during this?
I'm gonna go to the stairs or the ladder, whatever it is, to go upstairs, and I'm just gonna be there listening to see if anybody comes downstairs.
Okay.
Okay.
Somebody needs to be the lookout.
Good.
And where's Martin's going?
If I go back to the place where we sleep, or to the place where my foot locker is, am I gonna find someone like known to me or to us?
No, you were just there, so you would go if you want to go to your footlocker, you would go back down to the below deck.
Okay.
And your footlocker is down there where that dried up puddle of goop is on the floor.
Okay, so I might have something that might help. I might. Okay, but I might have something that could be helpful in my footlocker. I'm gonna check that.
Okay, so meanwhile, while Martins goes downstairs, Miri watches the stairs. Holt gets a bucket and some cloth and is going over to help clean up this poor, sad fellow. Antoinette and Bart, you go across to the door of the galley. You open up the door, and inside, you can see the door to the quartermaster store is open, and Cutthroat is inside, kind of leaning on a chest. She's got a tankard in a hand, and she's just sort of drinking, and she kind of looks out and then continues drinking. And you can hear Fish Guts in the kitchen singing apparently to his chicken, who is trying to harmonize with him.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I'll just walk in, stash the bag like it's supposed to be here, not say anything about it, and then look around to see if we have anything easy to make or like scraps that we have left over that aren't like rotten or anything.
So
Like, still
looking
good to eat.
around, make a perception check.
Okay. Perception check. Let's see. 14.
14. So you notice there is a small barrel on the countertop that looks like it's got boiled eggs in it. And there's also looks like whatever's left over of the morning biscuits that weren't eaten by the crew on one of the counters nearby the eggs. And Fish Guts is sort of like over by the pots, kind of stirring some of the stew. He sort of looks up when you come in. He looks over at you and he goes, "Where you been?"
Cleaning the bilges for Master Scourge.
What are you doing cleaning the bilgeons? I thought you were cook's meat.
That's what the officers told me to do today.
Yeah, all right then. Would you bring help? He looks back at Antoinette.
Oh, yes, just getting some food together.
Because I don't think I've met Fish Guts yet.
No, he's looking at you. He goes, "Don't know you. Seen you on deck. Don't know you."
Oh, hi, I'm Antoinette. I helped out with some of the rats and stuff. I think we've got some more rats to get back to. So many rats down
Trying to
below.
lure them out with some scraps,
All right. What can I do for you? Do you need?
I point to the leftover biscuits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are you using these for anything in particular?
I might throw them in with the stew. They make good dumplings once they soften.
Could I take a bit of it? You know.
I think it'd be easier to catch some of the rats with, because there's still like loads down below, I think.
Roll me.
Hiding in all the nooks and crannies, you know.
Yeah. Roll me a persuasion roll.
Persuasion or deception?
A persuasion, because Bart's on good terms with fish guts. All right. He looks over. He goes, yeah, sure. You can take some of those. I'd give about half of it to the chicken anyway.
Well, I'll leave some for him as well.
Okay.
So I'll take some of the crumbs, little bits of biscuit. I'll get like a napkin or something and put them in there.
Okay. So you take a few biscuits.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to try getting an egg. No, not right now. I'll just take the biscuits back to Owlbear.
Okay. So you get your biscuits. You head back. Cutthroat is sitting on top of one of the many chests inside the quartermaster store as you walk back through. This time she leans out and she says, "What you doing?"
Taking some rat bait. Catch some rats.
You seen that Martin's around?
Yeah, I think he's helping us catch rats. I mean, give him a message?
Yeah, tell him don't let rats chew off his playing fingers. I like his songs.
Will do.
All right.
What's the beverage today, Cutthroat?
Just some ale that Fish Guts had, one of his barrels. Better than the rum. The rum's kind of gone over too far, in my opinion. But not as good as a good elvish wine.
Well, hopefully we'll get some from the next ship we raid.
I could do with a dwarvish ale over this one, though. This one's just like maybe a swill from some brewery back in Port Peril. I'm not sure. It's not the better stuff that I like. I like the better stuff, you know.
Of course. A woman of class.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I better get back to the rats, you know.
Yeah, don't let Martin's playing fingers get chewed off. I'll hold you personally responsible.
Oh, will do. Of course.
And your friend there. Hi.
I elbow Antoinette like, huh?
And Cutthroat is the half-orc woman, tall, lanky. You can see she has this scar across her neck where it looks like somebody did indeed try to cut her throat at some point. She just gives you a nod, Antoinette, and just kind of like smiles. And she's got a couple teeth kind of missing.
I do the wave. I go, hi.
Hi.
Hi. And then I walk away.
She just leans back and drinks from her tankard she's got there. And then you hear as you walk out and the door is closed, "Fish Guts, I'm empty," and you hear her footsteps as she goes toward the kitchen. All right, so the rest of you have been watching as Holt, you're cleaning off this large figure, and he sits very docile.
Lets me do it then?
Yeah, he sits very docile.
Because I'm gonna check and get consent from him before I, lay hands on him.
Yeah, he's nervous at first when you come toward him with the bucket, and he until he sees that it's just water, and then he kind of relaxes a little bit and like lets you kind of clean off, and he watches as the feathers come off and the tar kind of gets cleaned away.
Yeah, I make sure he's okay with it, and then I just, try to soothe him.
And he says, chicken. And he picks up a damp feather that kind of comes loose easily now and drops it on the floor. Not chicken.
Yeah, you're not a chicken. You're just a person. And now you're a lot cleaner, which is nice. And my friends will be back with some food soon. That'll be good.
So, Martins, what did you go down to do in the hold or in the lower deck?
So I actually don't trust my own inventory that I have here uh, on my sheet.
Okay.
So as far as I know, I only have the uh, the uh, the that sword, a dagger, and my boot, of course, that I have with me. That's pretty much about it. I had those letters at some point, but I hid or tried to hid in the in the quartermaster room, right?
Yes. Yep.
And then I just stashed the cutlass, and making sure that I don't see anyone actually seeing me having done that. And then, if all things go as planned, unless you have any other ideas, until then, is there any other room in the ship that I haven't been yet?
You currently, where you are now, this hold is one large room, so there's no rooms down here. You've been in the bilges. You know that you've been into the quartermaster store. You've seen the inside of the galley because they kind of share the same space. You haven't been into the bedroom that the quartermaster and the cook share on the mid deck, and you haven't been into either Peppery Longfarthing's room where she was working, or the captain's quarters. But otherwise, your best guess is you think you've seen most of the other spaces on the ship.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near them as of yet. But and what time of the day is it again?
So now you guys have spent a while with the rats. It's probably closer to a little after lunch hour, so a little after noon at this point.
Okay, I'm going to the quartermaster room, even if that's what's her name again?
Her name is Cutthroat.
Cutthroat. Even though she might be dead, but she does like my music, so I might, I'm gonna try to spend some time there and maybe checking out this stuff.
Okay, so Martins comes back up from the lower deck after a short time, at the same time that Bart and Antoinette kind of come walking back across, carrying their pilfered rations from the galley, and Holt is probably about halfway through giving this big figure a good kind of wash down, and he looks much better. He's working probably on his shins, where he also had some tar and feathers attached at the shins, and his big bare feet are kind of stretched out, and he's got these really long feet with like these big toes. And so Martins kind of walks past and can sort of cross by, going back in the direction where Bart and Antoinette came from, and you're all just sort of amongst this deck now together in various locations. So I think maybe we will leave you all there for next time. We will say that you, Holt, do a fine job of cleaning up Owlbear. He seems very pleased. Like, he sort of looks at his shoulders and looks around. He's like, no chicken, no chicken, no chicken, and just very happy. Meanwhile, Miri, you haven't noticed anybody coming or going in the room up above. It's been quiet. You can hear the crossing footsteps of people working and muffled voices of people up on the upper decks doing their daily tasks, but no one comes down and disturbs you all while you're down here at this point. There's no further sightings of the captain's mate there, Tawny. She hasn't made a reappearance at this point. And you're just sort of all kind of left there, as Owlbear will just take the biscuits if Bart brings him over, and he laughs in this kind of deep little laugh, and he's like, ooh, ooh, fish, haha, fish, fish. And he keeps pointing at Bart, and he's like, just eating these in kind of big handfuls. Nice fish. Nice fish.
Told you I was a gentleman.
And I think we will leave you with this somewhat more docile giant than what maybe was described to you, as he happily eats his biscuits and looks around as Martin sort of crosses, and Martin's, you kind of cross past this, see this little scene as you go and open the door to the quartermaster's chamber and the galley, and you all hear oh, well, I didn't mean for him to send the bard, but look, it's the bard. And we will pick up next. And I think we will pick up next time from there, as you are all amongst your day. Oh my God,
That was fun.
It's been good. It's been
Wow.
Good progress was made.
good. It was everything that I did not expect that would happen in this session, but anyway, it was fun anyway.
Tanglefoot bag.
I genuinely enjoy the idea of people who have never seen a Tanglefoot bag and trying to figure out what exactly this thing is and how badly that can go. So thank you for that. That was awesome. All right, so why don't we do we'll do some outros, plugs, and we'll say goodbye for this week. And I'm still dying over the Tanglefoot bag. So we'll start with Dylan.
Oh, me, Dylan.
Yeah.
Oh, well. On Saturdays, hey, right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/PowerscoreRPG, Jeanette and I are in we do a bunch of adventures at this point, campaign set in Waterdeep, where currently we are going through Ori of the Wanderer, which is the adventure from the new Acquisitions Incorporated book that just came out. It has been a ton of fun. I think we just finished chapter 1 of it, and there's quite a lot left to do. So we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes.
We're not going to say that I did not almost kill Dylan's character this time.
Well, yeah, and then we froze you in an ice cube. So, I mean,
All right.
after punching you, well, quite a bit.
Yeah, that was painful. And using me as a improvised weapon. Yeah, that's fair. All right, yeah. So, any other plugs?
I should definitely have watched that.
You should watch that.
Or we'll watch if it's gonna be on VOD on YouTube or something.
Oh, definitely. And any other plugs there, Dylan?
No, I think that's it for me.
All right. How about Kat? What do you got going on?
No plugs for me because all my other sessions are offline, but or rather not streamed. But yeah, I had a lot of fun today. I can't wait to see what Antoinette's gonna get her finger stuck in next.
Nice. And how about PaladinHulk?
Hi everybody, I'm PaladinHulk, Twitch moderator for Random Tuesday and Little Red Dot. I'm also a regular on Margaret Cohn's charity game, which is on Wednesdays at I think 7 p.m. I'm bad at time. And the week after that on Wednesday, I won't be on that stream, but I will be getting interviewed on Trooper SJP's channel.
Ooh.
So that's going to be fun. I don't know exactly what we're going to talk about, but it's always interesting when that man gets to talking. And I hope to do my part. So check that out, maybe, or don't. It's all you.
Check that out, definitely. Excellent. How about Walter?
Hey folks, so I have way too many things happening in my life now. So I'm just playing this game, and this game is awesome. So it is the game to play if you just want to play one of them, and this is what I'm doing actually. So I'm not looking for anyone else for anything else to play. But if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter. It's GenlyAi _. So if and when, and I mean, and post there lots of stuff for very different views. So if I join some other group, then you find out up there. Cheers.
Excellent. And Brad?
Hey, I've got nothing else to pitch. I just hope everybody had a good time. I know I certainly did watching that sticker finger into things. And I look forward to the game in 2 weeks.
Excellent. And I'm Jeanette. You can find us here every other Sunday at 4:30 playing the Skull and Shackles game, which is outstanding. I am loving this. You guys get into so much trouble. And I am also working on putting together another Call of Cthulhu game for every other Monday night. I'm hoping to start it a week from tomorrow if I can get everything organized, but I've been a bit crazy, so it may be a little bit after that. But I will be posting on Twitter, which you can see my Twitter down here, jbriggs79. And I'm hoping to maybe run a one-shot a month at some point coming up soon. Just working out the scheduling. But otherwise, yeah, come back in 2 weeks and see what
Just
kind
one
of
more
craziness.
thing.
Yes?
It just occurs to me, all of this has happened in under an hour in the game.
Well, it's been a few hours now.
Okay, it's been a few hours, right.
Let's just say, like, we're probably at about 4 hours of shenanigans now, which is fantastic.
Right, okay.
A
I
lot
was about to say we played for longer than in-game time, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it took you less time to kill the rats than it's taken to deal with everything else this morning, but, I mean...
we're having a busy day.
You are, and you found some treasure, and, I mean, you're making friends. I mean, it's all worthwhile.
I'm just trying to get out of work. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I also do think that the line that separates the real game from shenanigans is real, like not well defined. So it's all good.
We like shenanigans. I mean, it's all shenanigans until somebody gets stabbed or tossed overboard or keel-hauled. So, I mean, we'll just see what happens.
All shenanigans until somebody gets their hand stuck in a bag. Oh, wait.
Man,
Put him to sleep.
I thought I was going to have to go to the list of possible, like, appendages. Like, maybe you could have had a hook.
Hey.
Thematically,
I was ready to cut your hand off.
Mhm.
Damn.
no problem.
I mean, this is friendship right here. We will cut your hand off to keep it from being stuck in this bag of sticky garbage.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it would be one left option. Well, one, not really less, but one less option. Less.
And on that note, with no one having lost a hand, we will be back in 2 weeks. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all of you for playing, and we will catch everybody later.
Bye.
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 See ya.